Hello everybody. We're going to take a look at one-step equations, continuing on from the first two, which were addition and subtraction. This next video is about the division principle, and it's Unit 3.1c, so this is Math 55. Okay, so at WAMAP we have two questions listed. One is, they're both solve or solve for x. 20x is equal to 160. And the other 180 is equal to negative 20x. So in both cases, we want to solve for x, and that involves a little bit of analysis and then applying a few simple steps. So let's take a look at the tablet. So when we want to solve for x, same as with addition and subtraction, we are looking to use the inverse operation of what's going on with x. So that's one key term, is inverse operation. So part of isolating x is seeing what's going on with x, what's happening to x. And we see here it's being multiplied by 20, right? So we have to be able to look at this problem and determine what's happening to x. And then we want to undo that, because when we solve for x, we always try to leave we're going to manipulate this expression until it just says x is equal to something, and whatever that something is, that's what x is, okay? And we do that by starting with what's happening to x, and we only have multiplication here that's going on with x, but you may have multiplication and addition, and it's kind of useful to go in reverse PEMDAS order when you are trying to isolate x, move in and get closer. I'll talk more about that in future videos. But x is being multiplied by 20 here, so what we're going to do is divide by 20. That's using the inverse operation of multiplication, which is division. So, and we have an equation here which allows us to, we can do anything we want on one side as long as we do the same on the other side. So what we're going to do is divide by 20. So x is being multiplied by 20. We want to bring it down to just 1x. So we're going to divide by 20. We'll write it this way, 20 over x. And then in order to keep the equation balanced, we have to do the same step on the other side. So the 20s are going to cancel out, because now we're dividing 20 by 20, which leaves 1, which is to say just x. And then over here, you can cross out zeros if they're in the same column. This makes the fraction 16 over 2. And these can both be divided by 2. So like all fractions, we're dividing, to reduce this fraction, we'll divide the top and the bottom by 2. And we'll get 8 over 1, which is equal to 8. So if this is our final answer, and we've reduced the left side to x. So we can say x is equal to 8. And then this is our answer. And then if we wanted to check the answer, we could say, let's plug this 8 in for every x that appears in the original. And if we put the 8 up here and say 20 times 8, is that equal to 160? Yes, it is. So just by following these steps, you don't even have to think too much. You can get the correct answer. And this will be really useful to learn these steps now while the problems are fairly simple, and you can almost see the correct answer without doing this breakdown and analysis. But keep trying to go through these steps. You're going to analyze what's happening to x, do the inverse operation to x, and try and end up with just x as the only term on one side, and then the answer will be right across from it. And whatever that is, that should be your answer. All right, let's take a look at the next one. We have 180 is equal to negative 20x. So what's happening to x on this side? X is being multiplied by what number? Did you say negative 20? If you did, you're right. So we're going to do the same thing we did in the previous one, which is the inverse operation of multiplication by negative 20. which is division by negative 20. And don't forget your negative sign. And then we do the division by negative 20 on both sides of the equation. So on this side, the negative signs cancel out, the 20s cancel out, and we're left with x, right? So x, let's bring that down here. And on this side, we have 180 and 20. We can get rid of those zeros. And then we have 18 over negative 2. Okay, so the signs won't cancel out here. And this effectively, if you want to write in a positive sign here, it's not written, but it's assumed. We have two different signs, and this is basically a division problem. So if we divide the top and the bottom, let's divide the top and the bottom by, should we be fancy and divide by negative 2? I'm going to get a different color. Let's divide by negative 2. So negative 2 divided by negative 2, any number divided by itself is always 1, except 0. 0 is a problem child. And that would be in the denominator. Oops, my page jumped. Beware the jumping page if you're taking a test. And then 18, positive 18 divided by negative 2. So a positive divided by a negative or multiplied by a negative will always give a negative answer. So our answer will be the same as 18 divided by 2, but it will be negative. So negative 9. So negative 9 over 1, any number divided by 1 is equal to itself. So that applies for negative numbers too. And negative 9 divided by 1 is negative 9. And so in this case, our x is negative 9. And it would have been possible, let's do this one other way. If we had had 180 is equal to negative 20x. And I know many of you won't instinctively go to divide by negative 20. So if you had just divided both by 20, then this would have been 9 over 1, which would have been 9. And this would have been the 2's, the 20s would have canceled out, and we would have had negative x. Oops. Negative x. So when we solve for x, they mean literally to solve for x, and this is negative x, right? So we know what negative x is equal to, but we always want to solve for x in positive terms. So what you can do now, can anyone think? If you have a negative x, is there a way to make it positive? So if you said multiply both sides by negative 1, you're right. Negative 1 times this, and negative 1 times negative x. So that will change the sign. Negative 1 times negative x is x. And then we have to do the same operation on the other side. So negative 1 times 9 will give us negative 9. So there are different ways to approach the answer. You just have to remember we're always literally solving for x. And so our answer has to be in x terms. Okay, so if we take this negative 9 and plug it in up here where we had 180, positive 180 is equal to negative 20 times x. X is negative 9. So negative 20 times negative 9. You've got a negative times a negative. So in multiplication and division, when the signs are the same, you get a positive result. That's equal to 180, and that matches. So we know for sure that x is equal to negative 9. So try a few of these on your own and challenge yourself a little bit. I have a couple of worksheets, I think, in Canvas that will give you a run for your money if you try them both. Anyway, good luck, and let me know if you get stuck.